Ain't going back, not gonna buy into all that. Hey, ain't gonna hide, gonna let all the fears slide. Got mother nature is on my side. Got all of the loving growing inside.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Practical Evolution for Life. I'm with Cambell from Autodidactic. I'm Lorenzo from The New Now. Today, we're going to talk about discipline on purpose. Two important words, very different meanings, perhaps, than what's been known and what's been shown to people. Hey, Cambell, how's it going?
I'm good. Discipline on purpose. Discipline with a purpose. Yeah, we mostly get disciplined for someone else's purpose, don't we? When we're in school and growing up, and it's always do this or else you'll be disciplined.
Yeah.
But what is discipline, I guess? This is the thing, right? We get all these mixed up meanings of words because of what's programmed into us. We've mentioned before the word disciple, discipline, disciple, maybe be your own disciple, someone else's disciple, but what is the purpose is really the main crux, I guess, of if you're going to discipline yourself, why? What's the purpose? What are you trying to, get out of it?
Part of discipline was really not taking anyone's word for anything, I would feel. Even when we looked up the word discipline online, it said recently, like disciplining a dog, disciplining a horse, or disciplining a bad puppy. But that's not the point, right? Discipline, from what we've seen, is to choose for yourself what you want to do, self-discipline, if you like, whether it's discipline in your eating or discipline in your exercise or discipline in your conscious level. It's really all about making a choice for yourself with what works for you, and to really discipline yourself. And purpose is an interesting one. Discipline on purpose. Two meanings, right? Doing things on purpose means you're doing it consciously. You're on purpose with your choice. And also the biggest thing, and the thing that I think messes most people up and gets them angry and gets them crazy and gets them lost and gets them deluded, is purpose. What is your purpose? So using your discipline to find your purpose really would be the deeper meaning to what I feel this topic could be about.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny that people are disciplined into things that they don't want to do. If people get up and they're disciplined, they get up and go to work and they don't want to, or they're disciplined to go to the gym 4 times a week because, they think they need to have this body for some reason, but it's not really for them, is it? Like, what's the purpose? It's all these external factors where I guess, if it's the same old story, right? If it's an external factor, it's someone else telling you what to do, and that's clearly not going to be the best for you. Because even if they're trying to help you, they don't know how to help you, right? So you need to discipline yourself. And this is where, I guess we get quite disciplined with physical things, discipline yourself to get up early or whatever, do your exercise, eat well. But yeah, like you said, what about your thoughts? Are we disciplined to maybe, go inside and retrospect and see who we are and ask questions? Journaling's a good one that used to be quite popular, a good discipline, and that's kind of disappeared. But there's all these disciplines that are much more about making you more of you and getting to where you want to be, pleasing yourself, I guess is what it is, rather than trying to please the outside world.
Cambell and I were talking before we came on about our purpose in the work we've done, purpose in the videos we're making, purpose in what we want to share moving forward. And in other words, we were looking as men on the planet or wherever we are, plane, floating in ether, wherever we happen to be, what our purpose is, meaning what we want to do, what we want to share, what we want to bring out in the world. And that's something a lot of people don't look at. It's like, why are you born? Why are you here? What is your purpose? What are you doing? And using your discipline to decide that is something a lot of people don't put into practice as much as they can, let's say. Like Cambell said, discipline in eating well, discipline in dressing, discipline in going to work. But that's, the discipline of a slave. And that's the original discipline, right? You get beat. You have to go to work to make your money. You have to do this. You have to do that. So that's an external, as Cambell said, it's an external discipline coming from someone else. And that's not really being disciplined. That's being punished, I would say. These words have really been, so you're being punished. If you don't pay your taxes, we're going to punish you. If you don't go to work, we're going to punish you, right? If you don't do this, we're going to punish you. If you don't listen to whatever, religion, you're going to get punished, right? And that's not discipline in how I mean discipline. I would say disciplining your consciousness, as Campbell said, you're just being disciplined with your thoughts, understanding where attention grows or energy grows or attention goes. So what you put your attention on and your discipline will allow you to gain more strength and purpose, depending on, again, what your purpose is. And I figure that's what's missing for most people, because if you find your purpose, it can reflect on your discipline. And if you have discipline, it can reflect on your purpose. Thus the title of this chat, Discipline on Purpose.
Yeah. I mean, we all know about the New Age movement and all this, and people who are, giving us all this advice, and all these people who are disciplined, They do their meditation every day. They change their diet. They do their whatever. All this stuff given to them by someone else. Look how disciplined I am. And we've mentioned this a lot, but where did it get people, right? And the problem is it wasn't their discipline, and they didn't know, what they wanted, where they wanted to go. They didn't know their purpose. And so that they were handing over their discipline to someone else. And we're seeing it a lot at the moment. Is there's a lot of people still promoting these old, sort of patterns, these old thoughts of how to change your life, but they're all predicated on the system. Like all of self-help, all it was telling you and us is how to get ahead in the system, right? How to look better, how to, get more money, how to be, successful in the system. There was no one talking about, just it's all about you. It doesn't matter, where you live or how, what clothes you wear. It's more on, how you're progressing and what you're seeing and all this. It's all, so we've been tricked, and it happens all the time, and it's happening now. There's all these new people who have popped out of the ether, and suddenly they're the new gurus, and people are just jumping on board. They're like, oh, this old guru's, he's a bit smelly now. Going to jump on the back of a new guru, right? But I mean, that's just that's not going to help you at all. And the reason people do it is they don't know their purpose, and they don't know the purpose because they don't have the discipline to sit down and focus on themselves and their purpose in a regular way. So it's a very interesting concept. But I was just going to say that with all this stuff coming out, all these heroes being put up for us to follow. That's kind of the easy way, right? That's going with the crowd. That's not discipline. Discipline is asking questions and really getting into the concepts these people talk about and saying, does that even make sense? Or is it for me? Or whatever. And then having, the guts to speak your truth. Because in the end, if we're not out there speaking our truth, if we're not disciplined enough to speak what we mean, then we're kind of stuffed, right? Because that's the ultimate undisciplined, right? How we get taught, like, watch what you say. Yep. Don't be that person. Like, just bend over, basically, to other people's will is what it's saying.
I mean, they teach you manners. What's a manner, right? I see the manners here in Japan are the manners, like a manner. Mind your manners. I mean, that's what you teach a dog, right? That's what you teach a pet. You teach it manners, right? Don't sit at the table. Don't take food out of my hand. Don't poo in the corner here. Manners, mind your manners, right? And that, again, is an outside discipline. Now, when you find your purpose, your discipline changes, right? So if your purpose is to grow energetically, let's say, or your purpose is to make a new kind of existence, or your purpose is to create a new kind of life, when someone comes and wants to be your guru, you'll know right away they can't, right? They may share something that you like you look at this bad thing happening here and, don't eat that, or watch out for too much 5G, whatever, all these little tiny things. And it's fine to take some advice on if you find for yourself that it's helping you in your own discipline and your own purpose. But believing anything anyone says, it's like, first off, if you feel superior because, I know some information you don't, so I know more than you. So, now you have to listen to me, right? That's right away. That's a red flag, stinky as a herring, as they say, or a red herring, because nobody is here to tell anyone else how to be. You can't, right? If once you find your own discipline or your own purpose, you don't need anyone to share anything with you. And that is why there's so much challenges and so much fear and so much easy swaying of people in the world, is they don't have the rooting of their own purpose, right? They don't have the rooting of their own discipline. Everything they've been taught, and I've seen it here from, the time you're 2. I watch 2 and 3-year-olds, right? And they're all being already externally disciplined. This is good. This is bad. This is how you live. This is how you don't. If you don't listen to mommy, you're not going to get your candy. If you don't listen to daddy, you're not going to get your allowance, right? And if you don't listen to the school, you're not going to get your grades. And then what's going to happen? You're never going to get a date when you get older because you won't get a job and you're not going to get any money. And if you don't get any money, you're going to be living on the streets. And look at all these poor people in the streets, right? And then you can't pay for your health. And look at this old guy with his teeth falling out and this old lady with, 1 foot missing. So, there's a reason they show you all these on TV, and this is they discipline you with fears, which isn't discipline. That's taxing. That's torture. That's not discipline, right? That's slavery. I'm going to call it for what it is. That's, they say, well, you're a slave because if you don't listen to this bad thing's going to happen. Now, that's not purpose, and that's not discipline. I don't think we were put here on purpose to have someone that looks like you, another human, say, do this, don't do that, do this, don't do that. I know it's good. I know it's bad. And if you don't listen to me, you're not going to have a house. What? Right? And if you don't listen to your boss, we're going to take your money away, and then you're not going to be able to retire. Huh? Right? Consider really the bottom of what's getting offered. Call BS, and find your purpose by being brave enough maybe to not know and to sit and to understand for yourself there might be a higher vision to a higher purpose as to why you came into this body and you decided to be here now.
It might all be for more than just going to a job for 40 years. Who knows?
Who knows? Oh.
But that's the thing, right? If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. If you don't have a purpose, you're very easily led because you're looking for a purpose outside of you. And people are like, here's your purpose, here's your purpose, here's your purpose.
Yeah.
Saving the children, saving the animals, saving the planet. Woohoo! But they're not your purpose. You can't have a purpose that isn't yours. So this is the main thing is, if you don't know where you're going, and you don't have to know everything, but if you don't know where you want to go and where you want to end up and have the discipline to stay on that path, you will just be led astray all the time because other people, they've got their purpose sorted out, right? It's to steal your energy or your money, a lot of these people, and they don't, and that's their purpose. And not everyone's good. It's a funny thing that there's a lot of talk about the powers that be, they're evil and they're bad and they do this and this and this, but then there's this belief that everyone you sort of bump into in the day or come into contact with is good. We don't see like people as, oh my God, they could be evil or they could be there to rip me off and are they lying to me? We kind of we like to think the best of people, but that's a scam as well. You've got to be, if you're disciplined and you know what you're looking for, then you'll spot these people. Okay, they're trying to do this. They're trying to do this. I don't like them. I do like them, and you can make proper decisions because you know where you're going. If you don't know where you're going, it's pretty hard to get there. Right.
And the worst of all people, as Cambell just mentioned, the evilest of all people are the polite people that want to keep you in the cage.
They can be.
Yeah, I meet them all the time here where I live. It's like nice neighbors, polite, and excuse me, they'll give you an extra ham sandwich or they'll help you with your flowers. But just try and talk to them about something real. Like try and share that, maybe taxes are something that's not something that's essential, or that maybe your cell phone or the mind control people or the government is lying to you, or perhaps you don't need to go to school and get a job, and pay taxes until you're dead, and you'll see their face change. I lost count at the number of yoga meisters I used to meet, when I was trying to be a hippie, that can bend themselves into, tiny little pretzels with 3 S's and 4 Q's. And, but then just try and share something real with them, like saying, maybe yoga is more than bending your body, and they get angry and their face changes and they literally lose their discipline. So maybe the next time, I read a good definition recently of discipline that really has stuck with me. Is discipline is in every interaction looking on the awe of life, AWE, looking on the imaginative side of things. If you're about to get angry, look at a flower and go, oh my God, like there's no reason to get angry. Or if you're about to lose your shit about your job and then you notice a bird flying by, you get to see, if you look at the wonder of the world, in other words, you move your inner compass, away from the crazy thoughts that make you want to get angry or sad or depressed or lost or whatever, towards something else. And if you connect those eventually, like if you connect yourself to awe on the outside, like as out as in, you'll start to connect yourself to the awe on the inside. So maybe when you lose a job, as Campbell said, you've got to let go of one side to lose another. You've got to stop something to start something else. You go, where's the opportunity here? What's the beauty in this situation? Why have I asked for this experience of having the biggest a-hole boss in the world, such that I had to quit or I had to leave or it was untenable, and so something horrible happened? So instead of going, oh my goodness, my boss, and I'm so worried about my money and and complaining with your buddies over 6 beers in the night, maybe it's better you sit under a tree and see innerly where you would like to go and what you can do next. And that could be a good other definition of discipline, is to see the power in all the situations in your life, such as you're not afraid of what's coming next.
Yeah, and to not be afraid of your own thoughts. Another thing is, it's easy, like I said before, to join the crowd, right? And at the moment, especially, there's all this information, all this drama coming out. Oh my God, this is happening, this is happening. And people are just following it, and they're just watching this stuff, and they're still doing it, scrolling through and watching how the world is bad and how, their life is so horrible. Because they don't know where they're going. They don't know their purpose. If you're not going to waste your life doing that if you have got something to do, basically. And so the biggest discipline is really with our thoughts, right? Our attention, I guess, not letting our attention, go to all this dramatic, superficial crap. That's always, because that's the only reason it's there, is to try and get our attention. Because energy flows where attention goes. They want your energy, right? And people are like, oh, I want this, I want the free will. But did you see what's going on? You need to be more disciplined and disciplined to the point where you need to be fine with walking into a conversation and not knowing what's the latest news is. I mean, I've got no idea what's going on in the world. I really don't. I pick stuff up, but this is the thing. People think that they need to know. They need to know. Oh, but I have to watch. I need to know what's going on. No, you don't. Why do you need to know that? The only reason it's there is so that you can create a world for someone who wants to control you.
Yeah.
So you can do that, or you can control yourself, control your own thoughts, control your own focus of energy and thoughts, and go in a different direction. And the biggest discipline is you've got to do it for yourself. If you end up alone, walking down the path alone, you've got to keep going. That's what discipline is. But also understand that, there's people down the road that will join you. But it's like Lorenzo said, if you lose your job, there's no use crying. I mean, it's not going to change anything. But if you think, well, there's a bigger purpose for me here, is this helping me to my purpose? You can always look at things differently and put your focus where you want to, because everyone else will be telling you how you're going to lose your house and you're going to die and end up on the street and all this crap, and look at the economy. But that's none of that's true for you. It might be true for them because they have no purpose and they're undisciplined. But, we have the choice, right, to make better decisions and then to be disciplined enough to stick to them.
Yeah, a couple of things that came up while Campbell was sharing this is responsibility and recapitulation, right? And by responsibility, I mean everything that happens. It's maybe not your fault that someone treated you bad. It's maybe not your fault you were beaten when you were 3. It's maybe not your fault that someone threw a ham sandwich into your face the other day, but it is your responsibility in having been in that situation, right? And again, people are going to say, oh my goodness, when you're 3, you don't choose your parents, you don't choose your family. Sure. Okay, let's say that. But now, today, when you're 33, 43, 53, 63, you are responsible for how you're being from the experiences you've had. And so whether you become a victim from them or you become stronger from them, that's your choice. That's your discipline. That's your purpose. You could say my purpose maybe is to get over having been abused, let's say physically. We'll take it to the worst level when I was 3 or 4. And I'm not saying it's okay. I'm not saying people should do it. Don't take any of this the wrong way. Obviously, it's not the right thing to do to children. But if something bad happened to you and you learn from it and you become disciplined from it, maybe your purpose in life is to help other children that are going through it. So the whole of us, maybe all the children, maybe write a book on it. Maybe you do a video on it. You go, yes, this happened, and this is how I got over it. I'm giving an example of how you can use something horrible to share something wonderful. And maybe then you change and help change all of us into something better moving forward. And then the world, instead of saying it's their fault, it's their fault, it's their fault, which never changes anything, you make something better from having had something bad happen to you. And then the world will be better simply because you're better and you're more disciplined. And so you're creating with your attention something wonderful from something bad, and that could inspire the next person to do the same thing. And maybe that's your purpose, as an example of finding discipline and purpose through a bad experience.
Mm. Yeah. I mean, I think it all comes back to what what is this place, right? Where are you? What are you doing? Who are you? What's the whole point of this? I'm pretty sure it's not to go to a job and be told what to do for 40 years. And then that's probably the biggest discipline of all is, do you trust yourself that you're right, that you're correct, that your thoughts about the world are right? Because, people just get swayed so easily, don't they? Don't be silly, don't do that, that's dumb, that'll fail. What are you thinking? Blah, blah, blah. But one of the biggest disciplines is to go, well, everyone else, they don't have to agree, but I agree with me. And so I'm just going to keep believing what I'm believing, right? Because, this is how we affect the world, right? Like if you're following someone, you're just affecting the world the way they want to. You're not leaving your mark, and so, I mean, I want to leave my mark, good or bad. It's not like I want to be written in history, but I want the world to be different in a good way that I was here, right? Because we're all going to die, we're all going to leave, we're all going to be remembered, but in the end, we can actually change this whole realm just by being who we are, right? And speaking our truth rather than, always going with the flow, right? Being undisciplined. I mean, we all did it when we were young, we know, we go out and drink. We know it's a stupid thing to do and a waste of money, but all our mates were doing it and, it's going to be so much fun and they talk you into it and it's like, oh, okay. And then you wake up the next morning going, oh, why did I do that? I feel like crap, so it's just these little things that we need to work on and just, it's a line. It doesn't mean you have to give up everything now and, meditate 10 hours a day and only eat raw fruit. It's just change something. Just change something. What am I doing that's not getting me to my purpose? Well, I'll just, make sure I start cutting that out. What is getting to my purpose and what's not? You go with what is, leave what's not, and be disciplined enough to let other people tell you you're crazy and just to keep doing what you're doing.
Leave it better than you found it. Maybe what came to me, while Cambell was sharing that, is maybe a good litmus test of being right is you don't need anyone else's agreement to feel
Yeah.
you're right and keep moving. If you need someone's agreement to be right, and I come across people like that, and I used to be that, maybe it's not authentic to your purpose. Because if you need mass, like this is, Trump's the savior, and you have to, and everyone's got to listen to me, everyone. But and if someone says it's not true, and you lose your mind or you get angry, maybe it's not a real truth, a real purpose, a real discipline for you. Because if something you really feel is right, you don't care if anyone at all agrees with you. Well, I don't care. This is what I need to do. Doesn't matter. So maybe a litmus test on authentic dedication, purpose, and path is you'll do it anyways, even if the whole world tells you you're wrong.
Yeah, indeed. And the other thing is if it's your true path and purpose, you'll want to do it yourself.
Yeah.
Won't be going around telling other people they should do it. I had this great idea. You should do this. Oh my
Right.
God, I just saw this and you should do this. I mean, come on, guys. And, we hear this quite a bit. If you've got an idea and it's yours and it's valid and it, moves something in you, then you're not going to want anyone to do it. You're going to be like, this is mine. You stay away, man. I'm going to do this. So if you're running around like telling other people what to do because of you, like I found this, please, you should turn it into something. Understand that that's your mind tricking you. That's got nothing to do with your purpose. That's got to do with you wanting to feel validated. That's it. That might be harsh, but we all want this. But who wants to be validated for something crap? Wouldn't you rather build something that's something you can stand behind and go, yeah, I did that, and I'm proud I did it, rather than go, oh well, And this is the thing: if someone else does it for you, what if it is a success? They're not going to give you credit because all you said was, oh, you should do here's one little sentence, do something. They go and do something with it. And then so many people sit back like, well, where's my accolades? I spoke to them.
It was my idea.
Come on, I didn't do anything, but I mentioned it. They went and worked for a year. Why don't I get come on, guys. Like, this is all this small programming. This is, you can't believe that you're created perfect, and you're infinite if that's where your vision is.
Yeah, we're taught that talking means something, and it really doesn't. We're talking that the idea of saying something is enough as an action. And, words are wind. That came from, I think, the Game of Thrones. Wind comes from all kinds of places. So we're tricked from schooling and everything else. You say something out loud, and that's enough. Somehow you created something by putting some sounds out of your mouth together, or your ass, or your ears, or wherever the sounds come from. And, the real effort is in the actions that come after that, right? If you, like I said, so many people have said to Cambell and me, I have a great idea, go do more work for me. This is great. You should go now dedicate 6 months of your life to making this real. And then they'll sit back and go like, yeah, that was my idea. But, you don't get what you get until you get off your, behind and get into the thick of things, get into the action, the chance you'll fall down, the chance you'll scrape your elbow, chance you'll break a bone, the chance you'll, arduous, something that, it's funny in Japanese, the word arduous is hone no arelo, which means basically broken bones. It's really interesting. So basically in some ways the language is telling you, look, there's a chance you're going to kill yourself. But that's where the success is. That's where the heroes, that's how heroes are born. You're sitting on a couch and, Cambell goes to do it for you, or I do, or someone else, forget it. Parents do that too. They want to live vicariously through their children, a lot of them, right? Oh, you go be a success. I wasn't. You go make money. I wasn't. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you for doing, proud, whatever. I'm not saying you shouldn't be proud of your children if you feel like it, up to you, but the real trick is in the creative process of doing things for yourself, finding that purpose, with some discipline and making it real.
Yeah, leave your mark. Let the world you were here, and know you were here, and be proud of yourself. Like, don't you want to be proud of yourself rather than your kid or the person who gave you, whose idea you gave? Be proud of yourself. I mean, and have you ever thought about that? Like these are thoughts that we don't really go to, right? Like, what would you do if you felt proud? What would if you were proud of who you are and you wanted to show everyone, oh my gosh, I've done this. What would that this be? Because that could be a good way of finding what your purpose is, right? Well, there's all things we want to do, but a lot of people won't even go there. Oh, I want to sing, but then people will just think, oh, I'm an attention hog, and well, who cares? Do it, Julie Andrews. Go find a mountain, sing by yourself. And I was talking to a friend the other day, and she's been writing like a book, and she's like, it's not to be sold. It's just for me. How many people write books just for them, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure that 99.9999% of books that have been written in the last couple of 100 years have been to try and get someone's ideas out to other people, to influence them, to make money, right? But just that concept, write a novel for yourself. I mean, that's goes on this purpose thing, that it's all about what you want, and you've got to live your life, but no one else has to live it. So do things for you and have discipline to keep going. And when people tell you you're an idiot, that's a dead end, you're going to fail, have the discipline enough to go, no, actually I'm not. But thanks for your input, but that's you. That's the failure, because you're just seeing me as a mirror. I get it now. So become a better mirror for other people. That if you want to change other people, if you really do, change yourself. It's the only way to do it.
Yeah. And if you try something and you fall down, as Cambell said lots of times, mistakes. You have a mistake, you'll learn from that. So it's not a mistake; it's an experience. Right?
Yes.
So if someone says you can't do that, and you try it, and let's say you don't do it, you fail, and they go, I told you so, that's their problem. They want to say I told you so. If you feel bad about them saying I told you so, that's also your problem. But if you learn from that, they can tell you so till the cows come home. It's irrelevant, right? Because you found more of your purpose by finding maybe what isn't your purpose. Right? You go, oh, that didn't work, so let's go this way a little bit. That's not working, let's go a little higher. Let's try that job was a horrible experience. Okay, I want to do that again. So really, sorry.
I was just going to say, maybe it's all for you, right? Maybe all these bad experiences teach you something, give you a skill or a perspective that you need to get to the next level. We're told that these things are bad. They're good. Like I said before, you can't fix a problem you don't know you have. So a lot of these mistakes and challenges, they're just showing us you need to fix this if you want to keep going forward.
So we've talked about recapitulation a lot. I feel it's important because it's a review of your life. shows you what has worked and what hasn't. So many of us have experiences and forget about them, or then they go out and get drunk, as Campbell said, and I've done that a million times with your friends. You forget. Let's say you have a week and you've got lots of lessons in that week at the job. So instead of sitting there on the weekend and deciding what you're going to do next, you go, what a horrible week. I got to get drunk for 2 days. And I used to do that. And then you go back to work on Monday. You go, oh, what a horrible week. And then 5 years passes. Instead of realizing, so you do a recapitulation, which is how I stopped to go, wait a minute, keep getting drunk. I keep going back to the same job. Nothing changes. I get paid. 8 years later, I'm just older and tired, and my stomach doesn't feel so good from drinking all the time. Maybe if I took the pain of the week, instead of trying to bomb it or hide it, and I allowed the discipline of that experience to show me a mistake I made, like, again, doing a job you don't like, the next time or the next few days, instead of being drunk on the weekends, you'll be exploring alternative possibilities for your life. Maybe you'll be putting time into a new job or a new business, or even, tying up the old ones. So you leave the country, whatever it is for you. But instead of wasting time hiding, do a recapitulation, be honest. It will help you with your purpose. I remember my purpose from when I was 2 or 3. Really, I had to go back. I feel when we're small, everyone really already understands their purpose. That's what my guts are telling me. And, I knew I wanted to explore. I knew I wanted to see more. I knew I wanted to get out of the system. I knew, like, I was being taught a lot of, BS from my parents and the religion and schools and education and all that stuff at the time. So I knew my purpose when I was 3 or 4 years old already. I've seen by my recapitulation. I can almost guess everyone does.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
So
that's why they put us through 12 years of education.
well, I was talking with my wife the other day, and it's really interesting. When you become an adult, it's easy to lie because everyone lies. Everyone says, like, so many people, even lying to themselves. But you talk to a little one, they can't help but tell the truth.
Yeah.
Right. That, you talk to someone 3 or 4, or a kid, well, that's great. You're too fat. That's amazing. You should do this. Or, so they're honest. Right. They're honest. So maybe our natural proclivity is honesty. And we learn, as we get older through, the being polite and manners and getting a job and being disciplined.
Lorenzo, it's just a white lie.
Yeah. We learn to lie, and then it becomes normal. When honestly, if you start telling the truth again in its dirty underwear sakes and its beautiful wonder, I can pretty much guarantee if it's a real truth, you'll find purpose, your purpose. And you'll find even the discipline of telling the truth is a huge way to discipline yourself. Oh my goodness. I mean, try that for a couple of months. That'll discipline your ass.
Yeah. If you're not true, with people outside of you, you're not going to be true with yourself. You're just going to spend your life lying and making excuses, and you'll end up 50 years down the road in the same spot. Basically. So.
It's just being polite. It was just a little white lie. It's all right. Oh, you look wonderful in that dress. No, you're not gaining too much weight. Oh, I love this job. Thank you for my salary raise. Whatever it is that you're, lying to yourself over.
Exactly. Speak your truth. We hear it said all the time, but we don't hear and see it done much. So.
But then know your truth. So you got to know your truth to speak your truth. That's how you get to the purpose. The Practical Evolution for Life. I'm going to plug the course. Cambell and I are doing it. Florida, October 6th, 7th, and 8th. It's all about this. Intuition, imagination, discipline, and power. It's all about your purpose. It's all about everything we've chatted about. We're not special people. We're just men that have made a lot of mistakes, made a lot of, honest recapitulations of our life, or a deep one. And we've seen what we want to share, because by allowing other people to grow in their own purpose, you become better, because if you're better, the other person's better, everyone gets better by association, and life grows in wonderful ways. So Practical Evolution for Life. We'd love to see you there. Details will be below.
Yes, they are below. And there's also a course you can check out. There'll be an email if you want to contact us, other links. Go check out our shop. Some good products in there. And yes, to discipline yourself with your purpose and move forward.
So if you come and you're with us for 3 days, whether you're camping or not, be ready, right? Because we're not just going to chat. We're not just going to show you pretty pictures and make everyone feel good. Really, that's why it's called Practical Evolution. Those will be some practical exercises, practical work, practical sharing of stories. We can sit around, we can have some chats, we can have some ideas, we can share our own evolutionary works, what's worked and what hasn't. And we can give each other, through a shared community for that time, and then perhaps beyond, how even as a family or as a unique individual, how you can learn to grow for yourself in your own practical evolution, get your own purpose, And to be honest, then you're relaxed, you feel good inside. All that stress that seems to bother people forever, that's bothered me, being chased by a wolf, I guess that's another way of putting it. It always seems like being chased by owing money, or being chased by being found out, or being chased by, becoming, realizing that the world's going to know you're the fraud that you are. I had that fear for a long time, because probably you are a fraud, even to yourself. Probably you are lying, even to yourself. So if you have those fears, examine them. The more uncomfortable, the more you can get deeper to your purpose with your discipline and come out wonderful on the other side.
Indeed. So there you go, guys. Thanks for joining us. Check out all the links below. Like we said, there's a course, there's a live event coming up, emails, there's a website with lots of good info. Go check that out. And yeah, we will talk to you on the next upload.
Yeah, newagora.ca. Campbell's Hub is there. My information is there. Information for the website. Our videos are there. Information for the courses. You can find it all. newagora.ca. Check it out. If you missed anything in this chat, it's all there in spades. We've been doing it for 15 years and beyond. I love you all very much. That's why I've done it. That's why Campbell's doing it. Men with big hearts, sharing. There are still some of us out here, some of us in there. Come join us. We'd be delighted to share face to face, shake your hand, give you a hug, and see how it goes and grows together.
Indeed. All right. Stay awesome, guys.
Can't make me lie to my heart. No one tells me where I should start. Freedom first is what I say. Nothing now gonna get in my way. Hey, you can come too. Doesn't matter, you're wearing no shoes.